Hey, Ultimate Carts here. Today we're going to be doing another video and we're going to be showing you how to do electric cart battery maintenance. One quick thing before we head back into the shop, I did want to mention that the more frequently you use the cart, the more often you're going to want to check and make sure you follow up on the proper battery maintenance in order to ensure the longest life possible out of your batteries. With that being said, let's head back into the shop and we'll show you the cart we're going to be working on today. Okay, so today we're going to be working on a 2010 electric RXV, and this one currently has the 4 12-volt setup in it. We're going to go over here and I'm going to show you a few things that I've got on my workbench here. So remember, when working on batteries, anytime you're dealing with them, you want to of course wear eye protection and have gloves available. The batteries do contain battery acid, which can be harmful if it makes it onto your skin, so just be careful with everything you're doing here. As far as tools, the only thing we're going to need today is a wrench. Now this one here has both a 1/2 inch and a 9/16 end on it. Your batteries could have either one of those sizes, so that's going to be the only tool needed. Today we will be using a couple of products. Here we have battery terminal cleaner. This stuff you just spray right on your batteries, let it sit, and then eventually you use water to wash off the tops of the batteries. This will eliminate any acid that may have leaked out of the tops of your batteries. Now, if you can't find anything similar to this at like your local hardware store or automotive store, you can just use baking soda and water. Just mix it together in a bowl and apply it to your batteries. Once your batteries are clean, then we have the next product, which is battery protector. This comes in an aerosol can. You just spray it right onto your batteries, and basically what this does is it prevents air from getting to your battery terminals, which will then prevent the chemical reaction that causes corrosion. Next up, here we have this is distilled water. You want to use distilled water only in your batteries. Now, I normally recommend using a smaller container for your distilled water. It just makes it easier to pour, so you can control the flow of water. That way you don't risk overfilling your batteries. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to check when looking under the seat of your cart, before you perform any maintenance, before you touch any cables or anything, always make sure that your cart is flipped into the tow position. Some carts also it may also be labeled as maintenance mode. That will just kind of protect your controller from any shorts that may happen when moving any cables or anything like that. So always check that first. It could end up saving you a lot of money in the long run. So after that, we're gonna look over here at your battery cables. The first thing you want to do is just inspect your cables, inspect your terminals. A few things to look out for here are you want to look out for a buildup of corrosion on your battery terminal. If there's any corrosion built up, you're going to want to clean up your battery post. Now, what I normally recommend doing first, you may have to remove your cable in order to clean your cable. But you want to use a wire brush to get all that nasty corrosion off of the post. Once you do that, I recommend then using a battery terminal cleaner to then clean the tops of your batteries, clean your posts, in order to neutralize the acid to prevent future corrosion. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to check is you're actually going to want to grab onto your cables and just kind of wiggle them back and forth a little bit. What we're looking for here is we're looking for, we want to listen for kind of like a crunchy noise. If it kind of crunches and feels like it's going to crumble a little bit, that normally indicates that corrosion has built up and made its way up into the cable a little ways. If that happens, you're going to want to replace your battery cables. If your battery cables look fine, then the next thing you're going to want to do is check to make sure that your nuts are tightened down all the way. I'll loosen this one up just a little bit. Now all you really want to do, you don't want to go too tight, but you also want to make sure they're secure at the same time. They do have a torque spec on this. I believe it's 5 to 8 foot-pounds. Otherwise, if you're worried about your nuts coming loose, what you can do is put a lock washer on with the nut, and that will help prevent the nuts from working their way loose over time. All right, so once you've checked your cables and you've cleaned everything, tightened everything down, now is the time to use the battery protector spray. All you're going to want to do is just put a nice thick layer of this and make sure you get all sides of the post to ensure that it's completely covered. Okay, so next up we're going to be checking and filling the water level in the batteries. So most batteries just have caps that snap off. Some of them do twist off. Now this battery here is just a little bit low. You can see the lead cells down in there. Now the correct level would be about 1/4 inch above the lead cells, or if you can see in this battery, there's a little lip down inside this battery. That would be the correct fill level for this type of battery. So if you're checking the water level in your batteries and you don't see any water down here on top or in between the cells, what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to fill the battery with water until it reaches just the very top of the lead. You don't want to go any farther than that. Once you have filled your batteries to that point, then you're going to want to fully charge your golf cart before filling with any more water. Once your charge is complete, then you can go ahead and fill it the rest of the way. Okay, so now it's time to fill the batteries up with water. So like I said, you want to go very slow with it to make sure that you don't overfill. So just little by little, fill it up until it reaches the, well, on this card there's the little plastic piece in there that actually demonstrates the proper fill level. Let's see, a little more. Okay, so right about there is where you want the water level to be. It might be a little hard to see in the video here, but like I said, about a 1/4 inch above the lead cells is probably the perfect level. Okay, so now that the battery maintenance is completed, the cart is ready to drive. For any more information, feel free to give us a call anytime.